I think the population boom is a boon, and it is evident through the theorists Julian Simon, Esther Bozarov, the agricultural development, and the data from China and South Korea. Julian Simon was an economist who had his unique ideas about population growth leading to an economic growth. First of all, he stated that if the growing population used more resources, we would eventually have more resources later on. Malthus, another economist, stated that population grows exponentially, but our resource grows arithmetically. However, Julian Simon highly disagreed with his statement, stating that we should view the data in the long-term view and not the short-term view. On the first graph, you can see that from September 2011 to January 2012, the price of copper actually increases, and people might doubt about Julian's theory. However, Julian also states that people should look in the long-term view than the short-term view. From January 2011 to November 2012, the price of copper has dropped greatly. There were some increases between the time, but after all, we can see that the price has actually dropped. On the second graph, you can see that as demand increases, supply also increases. This occurs due to the different industries trying to earn profit by producing more copper to match the demands. This supports Julian's theory once again, since the price of copper drops and the supply is increasing over time. Julian Simon also stated that land scarcity that could occur as the population grows won't be a big problem as people are building up. In fact, he stated that the whole population in the world can fit in New York City with elbow room. Moving to the next economist, Esther Bozarov, her agrarian theory stated that both population and food are increasing exponentially, so population increase is not a problem to the scarcity of our resources. She stated as population grows, this will only trigger the intensification of agricultural industries, which would cause farmers to produce more crops. Farmers would not be motivated when food is not scarce, so as population grows and food production slows down, farmers would be motivated to put in the effort to feed the people. When the demand is high but supply is low, farmers would start to produce large amounts of crops to make profit, which would bring the agricultural industry flowing once again. According to the modern-day examples that support Esther Bozarov's ideas, we can see that even if population grows, agrarian development lets food production either increase or stay stable to feed all the people in the world easily. In Singapore, they have built a vertical producing system where plants are growing in a vertically tall building. This allows people to produce a similar amount of crops in a smaller amount of land. Other methods like sky farming, which is similar to the vertical farming technique, hydroponics that let us grow crops using only water and no soil, and new irrigation canals are improving food production and solving land scarcity problems. It shows that population growth is not a problem to the agriculture nor to the availability of land. These inventions are beneficial for the economy since importing the crops that people couldn't produce are no longer imported but produced in their own country. 90% of food were imported to Singapore, which greatly harmed their economy because importing fed the economy of shipping countries. By strengthening the homeland agriculture industry and selling the technology they have developed, the economy rose in the country, which showed population growth is not a problem. A counter-argument always exists in a debatable topic like this. The counter-argument that states that population boom is a bane is supported by Robert Malthus, an economist who believed that population boom would eventually harm our economy. Unlike Esther Bozarov, he believed that food supply is growing arithmetically when our population is growing exponentially. He believed that this would eventually lead to development focusing on increasing the food supply rather than focusing on new technologies and new ideas. His idea, however, is proven wrong by the data that is shown in real life. First of all, global food production rate is increasing throughout the times, and in some countries they are actually overflowing with crops. It is not the scarcity of food that makes people suffer from poverty, but it's the distribution that causes the problem. Food is not distributed throughout the world evenly, which is why countries like Africa or Afghanistan are facing poverty. Also, according to Julian Simon, when population increases, more people actually produce more food and their economy would eventually rise from all the exports and the internal trade in a country. Finally, the data collected from worldbank.com shows that population boom is a boon. First, in China, we can see that the GDP of the country actually corresponds with the increasing population from 1965 to 2010. As the population of the country increases, so does its GDP. It conveys that if more people exist, then the country would earn more money due to the increase in spending and production. Next, in South Korea, the use of energy and the production of energy also proves Julian's theory and shows that population boom is a boon. From 1965 to 2010, South Korea's population grew and so did the use and the production of energy. As more people use more energy, it is significant that the production of energy is increasing as well. Overall, with the support of these theories and factual data, it is evident that population boom is a boon.